The Xbox Series X and PS5 specs are out in the open for the gaming industry, and it was immediately apparent that the new Xbox is markedly more powerful than the PS5. And as Sony's lead architect Mark Cerny spoke to developers about the super fast features in the new PlayStation, experts started to question if the PS5 was a faster, more agile system compared to the powerful towering Xbox Series X. Now new information has surfaced that paints the picture that even the super fast PS5 compared to the Xbox Series X might not be fast enough. This is Colteastwood. Thanks for checking out this video. This subject is super techy, so I'll do my best to break it down in a meaningful way and keep the gameplay and visuals engaged. If you enjoy this kind of content, please like and subscribe to the channel for weekly videos, hit the bell so you won't be left behind, and let's take a look at these supposed speeds in the new consoles. Everyone is talking about the new SSD in the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Especially quick to point out that the PS5 is 2 times faster at 5.5 gigabytes per second compared to Xbox at 2.8 in raw, uncompressed speed. Uncompressed means that textures, visual quality assets in-game are pushed to the world natively without packing and unpacking. Think of it as zipping files to email to a friend. The raw speed allows the push of assets without taking compute to compress and unpack, but compression is the efficiency method, and PS5 can boost this bandwidth on the SSD from 5.5 gigabytes per second to an impressive 8 to 9 gigabytes per second. Xbox Series X has compressed bandwidth speeds of 4.8. Sony has this advantage because of software built into the PS5 called Kraken. Texture decompression. According to industry professionals, the Xbox Series X solution might be better and stronger than Sony's Kraken, says Richard Geldreich, who formerly worked at Valve and Ensemble Studios. The bulk of data that games have to deal with is GPU texture data. Kraken in the PS5 is a general-purpose system, not explicitly designed with texture data in mind. What Microsoft has is specifically designed to kick butt on texture data. That's what counts, end quote. Xbox Series X is countering with an important integral solution called velocity architecture that not only speeds up the connection of visuals running to your game, but lowering the overall install size of games, which tackles 2 problems in the most important weak point of the new consoles. 1 is game installs, which will inherently be bigger in size, and 2, the storage size can't get much bigger than 1 terabyte due to cost. Windows Central explains velocity architecture as, quote, "The hardware decompression block plays a vital role, allowing games to consume less space via compression on the SSD. That hardware is devoted to tackling runtime decompression, keeping games running smoothly without giving more work to the CPU. It uses zlib, a general-purpose data compression library, and a mysterious new system called BCPack, geared to the GPU textures," end quote. Easy to understand, right? Well, here's how I'd say it. Parts of the game that we packed into smaller blocks, the powerful hardware in the Xbox Series X will handle the work of unpacking and keeping the CPU free for more important tasks like frame rate calls or performance. The velocity architecture will zip and unzip the heavy workload parts of the game, which are usually high-resolution textures to be applied on surfaces, rocks, walls, you name it. In fact, developers are seeing a 20 to 30% advantage in velocity architecture in texture streaming on the Xbox Series X over the PS5's Kraken solution, paired with that double-speed SSD. Remember that textures are what make games, polygons, shapes, and characters look realistic and believable. And Xbox and PS5 aim to have high settings with the best visuals applied onto detailed characters and environments. Richard Geldreich even goes as far to say that velocity architecture paired with block compression in the Xbox Series X is, quote, "a big advantage over what Sony has revealed so far. Kraken is awesome tech, but it's just better lossless compression. That's not enough for texture data. General LZ is just that, generic. I would be surprised if Sony didn't have good RDO texture encoders. If they don't, they cannot compete." The Xbox velocity architecture is about so much more than just fast load times. It's one of the most innovative parts of our new console, Microsoft says. It's about revolutionizing how games can create vastly bigger, more compelling worlds. Velocity architecture also takes workload off the GPU, the hardware responsible for physics, ray traced lighting, and presentation of the world being rendered behind the curtain. Using machine learning and logical efficiency, the world will only be rendered in full when objects are in view, taking a massive strain off the graphics engine and delegating that power needed to push performance and visuals right in front of your eyes. This is sampler feedback streaming and RDNA2 powered variable rate shading. Simply put, you will get the very best view of the game at all times, with the maximum power as all of these things work in concert with velocity architecture. One of the major disadvantages of Kraken in the PS5 with that super fast SSD is that it really only can be used in first-party PS5 exclusives. The game engine of a first-party brand new game being tooled up to speed up the world cannot be translated or applied to other outside hardware such as a PS4 or even a PC if Sony keeps putting exclusive games on Steam or Epic Game Store. Or even more troubling is major third-party studios that make the biggest games for all platforms across PC, Xbox, and PlayStation will not be able to use the full speed of the SSD and the Kraken solution for games that will release half on PlayStation and the other half on Xbox and a minimum spec PC. This isn't a scalable feature like resolution or frame rates. Sony is banking on devs using this extra speed on first-party exclusives only, and this is where it will be most transformative. This is where velocity architecture comes into play for everyone developing games and playing games across PC and Xbox. Microsoft describes direct storage as an all-new input-output system designed specifically for games to unleash the full performance of the SSD and hardware decompression. Big, huge, detailed open-world games such as Red Dead Redemption 2 continually load assets in the background so the player can roam the world without seeing a load screen. They said, quote, direct storage can reduce the CPU overhead for these I/O operations from multiple cores, just taking a small fraction of a single core, thereby freeing considerable CPU power for the game to spend on areas like better physics or more NPCs in a scene. Decompression or unpacking the 4K textures to match the speed of the SSD rate would have consumed 3 of the 8 Zen 2 CPU cores, plus an additional 2 more just for the I/O overhead, using a staggering 5 of the 8 cores just to unpack textures in the game. With direct storage, Microsoft reduced that down to just 1/10 of a core. All that CPU power can now be used to put more enemies and NPCs on screen, AI believability and strategy, and better performance on the GPU, with no CPU being the bottleneck. And if that wasn't enough to convince you, velocity architecture in conjunction with direct storage, sampler feedback streaming, and variable rate shading, all things that are part of the Xbox Series X architecture, you will see 2 to 3 times more bandwidth and output speed. In other words, that 2 times advantage that PS5 has with the Kraken and the superfast SSD may be null with the speed and efficiency of Microsoft's velocity architecture in the Xbox Series X. All of that Xbox Series X power means a lot, and it's being used to its full potential, and developers can make their games as big, beautiful, and believable, and we can sit back and enjoy those games, knowing they will look and feel as amazing as their original vision hoped it would be. This is Colteastwood. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful for the thousands that have been supporting my channel. Times have been so difficult for millions of us across the globe, and I hope that you found your joy and enjoyment across content online, games, and talking to friends and family over our internet connections. Hit the like and subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified of new content. Hit the bell. If you want to see my videos sooner, I create them a day ahead of a release. Join the channel or Patreon and you'll get early access to my videos. Add me on Xbox Live and Twitter to send me messages or questions, and that's the business side of things. I want to take a moment to express what I've been going through during all of this, good and bad. 2020 has been an interesting year, and news of the consoles coming early has been so exciting, and I've gotten to the point where I can't wait another day, let alone another delay for the Xbox and the PS5 to get here. The current world situation with social distancing, I already don't like that word. The hardships we experience in our lives, health and work, these are very serious things, and I'm thankful that I'm able to continue to work from home during my work with my full-time job, and my family, we have everything we need. Thankfully, as an avid gamer, I have a strong connection to friends over Xbox Live. We talk every day. I really appreciate all of you out there. You know who you are. Things will be difficult just inside this little gaming bubble. Life is much more important outside of gaming, obviously, but the entertainment we lean on for comfort and joy might be delayed. I don't think the PS5 and Xbox will be delayed, but I truly believe as we round the corner into the summer, things will get back to normal slowly, and by the holiday we'll be hugging friends and families and our brand new shiny consoles. This is an important time to strongly support others. Take a moment to thank your favorite developers, your favorite content creators. Thank your friends and family that enjoy gaming with you. Share the air of positivity in online discussions. Talk more about what you love and share your happiness with others. And like I always say, please be nice.